Just got a sad update about Kelly and Mark. Today's story is one that has quietly shaken fans, friends, and even the live studio family. A moment that wasn't supposed to go public. A moment that Kelly Ripa tried her best to keep private until it became impossible. This is the deeply emotional story behind Mark Consuelos' recent healthcare decision and Kelly Ripa's heartbreaking reaction that has left fans around the world stunned, moved, and holding their breath. If you're watching this, stay with us until the very end, because what happened off camera tells a story more powerful than anything seen on daytime TV. It began weeks ago, small things, subtle things, the kind that only someone who loves you deeply could notice. During commercial breaks, Mark seemed a little quieter. During rehearsals, he took a little longer to respond. And while the audience would never have guessed anything was different, Kelly did. Fans noticed that she began watching him more carefully during the show. Small glances, quick check-ins, a gentle hand on his arm during certain transitions. To many, it looked like affection, but insiders say it was concern, genuine concern. One producer revealed that Kelly was unusually protective of Mark during the tapings. She insisted on making sure he rested between segments, drank enough water, and didn't overwork himself preparing for upcoming episodes. At first, everyone thought it was simply Kelly being Kelly, a loving wife of nearly 3 decades. But then, something changed. Mark began quietly meeting with a healthcare provider, not an emergency doctor, not a surgeon, but someone who specialized in long-term wellness and preventative care. A proactive step, a smart step. But for Kelly, it was a reminder. A reminder that even the strongest people can have moments where they need help. The moment fans can't stop talking about happened on a Monday morning. A normal show, a normal opening, a normal bit of husband and wife banter. But behind the laughter, something wasn't normal at all. Mark had just returned from a weekend appointment related to his new healthcare plan. And while he walked onto the set smiling, Kelly noticed immediately that he was a little more tired than usual, a little less energetic, a little off. At one point, as Mark leaned slightly on the counter during a transition, Kelly instinctively reached out, not in the playful way viewers were used to, but with genuine worry in her eyes. A small, unspoken moment. A moment only people paying close attention would catch. A moment that said everything. Millions saw it. Millions felt it. And almost instantly, speculation began online. What's wrong with Mark? Why did Kelly look like she was going to cry? Did something happen backstage? Kelly didn't address it publicly, not at first. But what happened later in the week changed everything. After the show that day, Kelly pulled Mark aside in their dressing room. According to someone close to the production, she expressed exactly what fans saw in her face: fear, worry, love. She reportedly told him, "I just need to know you're taking care of yourself. I can't lose you, not now, not ever." Mark, who has always been known as energetic, athletic, disciplined, and incredibly strong, emotionally and physically, reassured her. He told her that the healthcare plan was simply a way to stay ahead, to stay healthy, to stay prepared for the future. Nothing more, nothing less. But Kelly wasn't just reacting to the healthcare decision. She was reacting to time, to life, to the reality that after almost 30 years of marriage, the idea of something happening to Mark wasn't just frightening, it was unimaginable. Insiders say both Kelly and Mark have become more sentimental lately, more protective of each other, and more aware of the importance of slowing down, breathing, and taking care of themselves, not just for the show, but for their family, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin. The Consuelos-Ripa family is famously close. When anything happens to one of them, it affects all of them. When the kids heard about Mark's decision to expand his healthcare plan, they reportedly encouraged it. Michael was supportive. Lola was emotional. Joaquin was protective in his own quiet way. Each of them reminded their dad that taking care of himself wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign of strength. But it was Kelly who took it the hardest, not because the situation was serious, but because the idea of Mark needing care at all shook her. Mark has always been her rock, her partner, her safe place, the one who carried her through her hardest days, the one who made her laugh when she didn't want to, the one who stood beside her on screen and off screen every single moment of their lives. So, seeing him prioritize his health, while smart and responsible, reminded her just how precious every day is. Only a few days after that dressing room conversation, Kelly addressed the situation indirectly on live, though most viewers didn't realize it. During a heartfelt segment about family, she said, "Sometimes the people who seem the strongest are the ones you have to check on the most. And sometimes, taking care of yourself is the bravest thing you can do." The audience applauded. Mark smiled at her, a small, grateful smile. But if you looked closely, you could see Kelly fighting back emotion. And if you listened closely, you could hear the weight behind her words. This wasn't just a message for viewers. It was a message to Mark. Fans love Kelly and Mark not because they're celebrities, but because they're real. Because their love story has survived fame, schedules, pressure, and time. And because, even after decades together, they still look at each other like they did on the first day. So, hearing that Mark is taking steps to care for his long-term health, while not an emergency, still struck fans deeply. It reminded them that life is fragile, even for the people we look up to, even for the people who seem invincible. The emotional reaction across social media has been overwhelming. Kelly looked terrified. "I hope Mark is okay. We love him. They've been together so long. Seeing her worried broke me." For many fans, this wasn't just news. It felt like something happening to people they've grown up with, people they feel connected to, people who remind them of their own families. According to a trusted source close to the family, Kelly privately told Mark one sentence the night after that emotional episode aired, a sentence that deeply moved him. "I don't care about the show. I don't care about anything else. I just need you healthy. I need you here." It was raw. It was real. It was the fear every loving partner carries inside their heart. Mark reportedly hugged her without saying a word. Because sometimes silence expresses more than any sentence ever could. Mark reassured Kelly, and later their kids, that he was fine, that the healthcare plan was a preventative step, something he had been considering for a long time. But he also made a quiet promise. "I'll slow down. I'll take better care. I'll listen when you worry." And Kelly, who has always been the strong one on camera, allowed herself to be vulnerable. She let him know how much he means to her, how much the world means with him. That moment, simple but powerful, is why fans love them so fiercely. Because behind the jokes, behind the camera, behind the fame, they are just two people trying to take care of each other. So what's the truth? Mark is not in immediate danger. There is no emergency. And this story is not about illness. It's about love, about responsibility, about taking the steps today to protect tomorrow. But for Kelly, for their children, and for millions of fans, the idea of Mark needing healthcare was enough to spark emotion, enough to remind everyone how fragile life is. Sometimes the saddest news isn't tragic, it's tender. It's the kind of news that makes you appreciate the people you love, the kind that makes you pick up the phone and call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. The kind that makes you look at your own life and ask, am I taking care of myself? Am I taking care of the people who need me? If you've made it this far, remember, health is precious, life is precious, and love even more so.